I've actually spoken to many mediums about it, and they told me that's the closest I got to demonic.
What?
I've lived 7 lives.
Really?
You know, for instance, your nan's here.
Welcome back to Team 4. For today's episode, we are joined by the wonderful Psychic Leah.
Woo! Thank you.
Leah, please introduce yourself and let us know what you do. What is the gift?
Oh, goodness. So I'm Psychic Leah, and I'm a psychic medium, and I talk to the dead.
Things I can't do.
I know.
Not on my Tinder bio. Amazing. Yeah, so for today's episode, we are going to be deep diving into the profession and learning what it's like to live with this gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're ready.
Are you sure?
No, I don't know if I am ready to be honest.
I'm gassed. I'm excited. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. How and when did you discover you could talk to the dead? You could do all this stuff.
Yeah, so I was 18 months old when I first had communication with the dead.
Oh my gosh.
Growing up, it wasn't easy. It just
18? Did you say 18 months?
Yeah, 18 months old.
What happens?
Now, you should have had my mum sat on the podcast.
Oh.
So my mum and dad had me young. My mum was 17 when she had me, and we were moving around quite a lot. We was in a 2-bedroom flat, I believe it was. As you can imagine, we had people above us and people below us.
Yeah.
And of course, being 18 months old, obviously, I'm assuming you're walking and you're sort of talking at the time.
Don't know much about babies, but
No,
I assume.
neither do I. The room my mum and dad stuck me in, I used to see a man that was in there.
Oh.
And my mum and my dad told me that I used to be sat in the living room and I would go literally dead silent, as white as a ghost, looking out saying, the man's there, the man's there. Every time I was in my room, I used to obviously walk out or whatever I used to do. My mum and dad said all they remember was me climbing up into their bed. My dad's always been like a biggish bloke.
Right.
And I used to squeeze onto his fat.
Oh,
Where I was so scared.
comfort. Yeah.
Yeah, so turns out, because my mum ended up finding out that the bloke actually died in my room.
Oh.
Yeah, he was found in my room. And he used to try and tell me stories and stuff like that.
Oh
So-
my God, were you like, nah. Stick Peppa Pig on, louder. No. Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember what did they look like? Sometimes it's like an orb, sometimes it's like a physical, and like what did that look like?
Yeah, so obviously for me, I see them very differently, however that they want to come through.
Okay.
I can see them as full body apparitions, but it's not like with your vision of your eye. It's almost like within your third eye, if that makes sense. So to me, it's almost like a daydream.
Oh.
So I'll see them there, but when I was growing up, I actually used to see that bloke visionally.
He was a consistent.
Yeah, it was like a consistent thing. It's almost like, obviously, where my gift is to talk to the dead, everywhere we moved, it was so bad. I was about 6 years old. My sister was there. We had bunk beds. I was at the top. I don't know how much I can say on this, through what I saw.
Oh. X-rated? What were they?
Well, all I'm going to say is naked.
Oh,
That's
naked. No,
right.
you're
You
fine.
say
You're
naked. Oh,
fine.
yeah, we
So-
said worse things than that.
Of course, between that time of seeing that man,
Yeah.
obviously things went a little bit quiet. I was obviously getting used to seeing the dead and whatever else. And
So it was a naked man?
no. Wait for it. I was 6 years old, and the place we moved into, we was at the bottom 2-bedroom flat. I went to bed, and things were happening in this flat all the time. It was, things would move, I would see things and whatever else. I was led in bed, and we had the TVs with the videotapes. And when the
Right,
videotape would go off, it would fizz, wouldn't it? It got to the time when my mum should have come in and turned the TV off. Well, next thing you know, I'm there trying to drift off to sleep. I remember looking up, and it was a vision. It sounds really weird. Of my mum naked.
Oh.
And it was stood backwards, and it walked in backwards, and I couldn't see its face.
What?
TV turned off. It done a complete 180.
No.
Turned the TV back on.
What?
Walked out, and I went, Mum. And it looked at me and it had a pure skeleton face. I've actually spoken to many mediums about it, and they told me that was the closest I got to demonic. So it was something that was reenacting my mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, like in the skin of your mum to try and make you?
Yeah, so it was literally my mum
Well,
naked.
why?
It was-
Why? What's?
They'll do
why?
anything.
They'll do
They will
anything.
do anything to
So
scare
that's
you.
obviously you have been imparted with this gift, what's to say, like, are you born with it, or is it something that can be like, me and Ellie can deep dive into, like, tuning into that part of our brain or our body or our mind or our soul?
So everyone is born psychic to an extent, because obviously psychic and being a medium is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
So obviously being a psychic, that's when you can tap into that person's energy, say what's happened in the past, present, and future. Being a medium is when you just tap in, well, I say tap in, it comes when it wants to come, into the spirit world. So that's when you're connecting to people's loved ones. But it's not something that everyone can open up. You're born here with it. You're supposed to be here to work with it. So
has anyone else in your family had the gift? Oh,
I'm a fifth generation medium.
Really?
Yeah, so my great nan's psychic.
Wow.
And then it comes on from her nan as well.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
interesting.
Yeah.
I always wonder this as well. Like, when you're seeing, like, ghosts isn't the right word, spirits.
Yeah.
When you see spirits, is it like super old and like ancestors, or is it like a modern day person that maybe just died last week or last month? Is it like, is there an age?
So, no, not really. I mean, like, obviously where I'm so used to it, I don't really talk about it anymore to
Yeah.
people. Like, I've been sat on the train with mum. And when we was at the train station, I could see a boy sat on top of the bridge. But I knew he wasn't there.
Was he dressed in like
How-
Victorian
Yeah.
clothing, or?
How do you know he's not actually there?
Because it's almost like, you know, when I said to you about the visions, I know it's a vision of it. And it's almost like a silhouette of someone sat there.
Do they like glow?
No.
That's what it's like in my brain. Like someone like
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When it's depicted on TV, it's like maybe they're in black and white, or like
Yeah.
maybe just like a hue, maybe then.
yeah.
It's hard for spirit to come through anyway.
Yeah.
So when they've got the energy to manifest, it depends on how they come through. Some people see them as light. Some people see them as silhouettes. Some people see them as full body.
So this is what I have to ask you. It's obviously a classic thing that people say, like, white butterflies are
Yeah.
like someone's been reincarnated. Is that a completely different vibe to the whole spirit thing? That's a soul, and this is like them reincarnating.
So it's almost like messages from your loved ones.
Yeah.
Because obviously you get the butterflies and then you get the robins, and angel numbers are a big
Yes,
thing that
yeah,
people
yeah.
are now starting to realise. So yeah, there's loads of them that's obviously your loved ones can interpret. Angel numbers are like if you was to see 1111, or
Yeah.
if you constantly, without realising, you look at the clock and it'll be 2222. It's, if you're seeing that reoccurring, it's a message from your loved ones. Or
Is
from
each
you.
number different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
No, it is. It's like 444. My friend's got that as a necklace because it's something
yeah.
like, so like 777 could mean opening, like you've got the support from your spirits is like opening new opportunities and things like that, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
not the right one, but it's right kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, is this your full-time job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is now, yeah.
Oh.
And so you're meeting with clients day to day. Is it like when you wake up, the messages are already starting to come through, or is it only when you're sitting in front of a person you're getting those?
Question.
Yeah.
Like, what do you actually do with the clients first and foremost? I actually don't.
Yeah.
So obviously I read for people all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard for a lot of people that don't understand because they believe that you've got to be in front of that person.
Yeah.
I do over video call. I can do it over message. I can do it over phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And what is that? You summon the person, or is it literally just speaking to someone and connecting with them?
yeah, just literally I could be sat in front, like now. Obviously I'm connecting. I know your nan's not here,
No,
and
that's
she's on
very
the other
true.
side.
Oh.
Who's trying to come through. So that's what I mean. I could be on the phone to you and do a video call,
Yeah.
and that person will come through. I wouldn't sit there and go, hang on, let me just call in someone's dad.
This is the
It's-
thing. I was Pete, like, that kind of vibe. Like, no, he's not available.
So what they come to you so you can connect with their loved ones?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Wow.
Okay.
Have you ever like had to filter a message that comes through? Because I feel like when I watch these kind of things on TV, when I see psychics, it's all pretty positive. It's like
yeah.
something that's looking out for them or saying like, it's okay, thank you for letting me go. But it's only one that comes through. It's like, you bitch for turning off that ventilator.
Yeah. My poor mum, right?
Turning off that
Yeah.
ventilator.
Well, you never know. Like, so I never want to die. So if my family was sitting there going, yeah, turn off the do not resuscitation, yeah, crack it open, I would be furious. I'd rise out of that body going.
Well, let's put it this way. I've helped with missing people,
Yeah.
murders, what's going on with paedophiles and stuff like that. Yeah.
What, in real cases?
Real cases, yeah.
I always wanted this, like Madeleine McCann's parents have said no to psychics because they're Christian, right? But surely this is completely different podcast, conspiracy theories. Surely if you were that keen on finding your child, you'd go through any other things. But so there are some people out there that would utilise you in this kind of
So
case.
I've been asked by someone who works in a police force, that's as far as I go, to work alongside with them. I know the woman that solved the Sarah Payne case.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But psychic mediums are never, if you was to work with the police, they won't put it on media because what we do is meant to be bad. It's not right. Because if you look at it in the Bible, we're ones that work with the devil, apparently. When we work fully against, I can tell you.
Well, growing up, having that idea that kind of, it's not necessarily normal to sit there and have other people in the room other than the living ones and be communicating with them. How did you deal with that? Were you really open about having that gift, or was it like, oh, this is something for at home and I feel like...
Oh, I was quiet about it.
Quiet.
Throughout school, I used to have dreams about my friends' grandparents that had passed away. There was a girl in my year that had passed away of meningitis, and I tried to bring a message through to one of her boyfriends, and I never said anything.
Oh.
So it's things like that. Like, it literally is, the older I've got, the worse it's got. It's 15 in a shower hearing a woman talking to me, and I ran out.
I was going to say, I thought it was more common like within children because they're like, I don't know, imagination is more...
Yeah. So with children, I'm a big believer. Now, many psychics and mediums will have different opinions on it. Yeah. Every child is able to see and hear until they hit a certain age. Now, because they're, like you was talking about, their imagination... When we get old enough where our imagination sort of stops, we have our own mind, we start growing up.
More realist.
Yeah. If you don't have that gift, it stops. And that's when that child doesn't really remember much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which many people don't have experiences as kids, or perhaps don't remember. Which is my argument when people say, because when you was talking about opening up, is that something that we could do?
Yeah.
I've seen people who have said, oh, as a kid, I used to see this woman in my room and I used to see this and I used to see that. And I'm like, that does not make you a medium.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to deep dive into something that you're not meant to deep dive into, I've seen people get cancers, heart problems. People pass away of trying to open it up. And it's not something that, and mentally, some people can't take it.
Yeah.
If
that makes sense.
So obviously I'm here supposed to be doing it, so my mental health has to be all right for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I see a lot.
God. And quickly just going back to that whole, have you ever had to filter a message that's come through? Like, have there been any occasions of that? Because you don't want to look like a bad person. Like,
I never filter a message. My poor mum's been there with me, because my mum comes with me to most of my readings, just out of, if anything happens to me. And there are times I've upset a client because the person on the other side's gone, I know the truth. I've told people, I've had couples come to me and I've known if the woman or the man's had an affair and I'd have to mention it. Yeah, I've caused some rows, but not purposely. It's what the dead want to bring through.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to come to light at some point. You may as well.
Well, for instance, my grandfather passed away in 2018 and he told me about my nan. Now, none of my mum's family don't talk to me. Because they know that I know what's happened.
Yeah. Literal tea.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
No, for real.
Wow. And what what do the messages from the spirit sound like? Is it like a voice? Is it like...
So it's... Sometimes I can hear them. Sometimes it's almost like a written message.
Okay.
That I can see, or I just generally can lip read them.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, they show me visions and I can hear them.
Yeah.
And how do they see us? They just see us like they were here normally?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And so obviously you're kind of having clients and things, but I always wonder, I believe in like guardian angels and things like that. I believe in the afterlife, and I'd like to think that, like, for example, my loved ones that have passed away are around me all the time.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm asking is, maybe there are some times in life that I don't want my loved ones to be around me all the time. So are they around me all the time?
So obviously no, they have to respect your privacy.
Oh my God.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, they're not going to
Okay.
be in your bedroom or in your toilet.
Okay, good. There's just moments where I feel like I'm on Big Brother, and I'm like looking up. Oh.
I don't mind them being on the toilet with me, girls in the bathroom, have a shit chat. But
Yeah, I guess so. I think you look a bit weird just speaking out.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting. We were going to ask as well, like, this is quite a female-dominated area. Is it a thing that, like, women are more likely to have that kind of gift?
No, I think
No.
men are very quiet about it. Because there are,
Makes sense.
like, for instance, Colin Fry. He was a brilliant medium.
Yeah.
Have you heard of
Good to
Derek
know.
Okora?
Derek Okora, legend. He passed away, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you see that there are a lot of men, especially on TikTok. I mean, I've seen more men on there than what I do on...
Really?
Yeah.
I see more women than I
Oh, I
do
see more
men on
men.
TikTok.
Might be your algorithm, babe.
Yeah, it's always my algorithm.
Yeah. We wanted to kind of cover that on TikTok because I feel like there's been a massive growth of this niche of people doing tarot card reading. Do you find it harder to prove your authenticity when it's such a oversaturated environment?
100%.
How do you do it?
Well, when I do my readings, I don't hold back. That's the only way you'll be able to know who's real or not. Because when you're connecting to spirit, I can't just say, for instance, your nan's here. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because anyone could sit here and go,
Yeah.
your nan's here.
Sure.
But the way that I describe the personality, whether it be that names come through or anything that they've got to say, whatever makes sense to you, that's their way of going, I'm actually here.
Right.
So they can tell me stories that have happened. They can tell me things that have, perhaps have happened in the family that you remember.
Yeah.
So it's things like that.
Are there any times that people just don't come through? Like they're busy in heaven or...
It's hard because when you have people that have been murdered and when you've had people that have sadly taken their own life,
Yeah.
sometimes it can take the soul just a little bit longer to come through because they do get worked on because there's a reason why these things have happened.
What do you mean by worked on?
So obviously this is our shell, right? So our soul is inside. So when we leave our shell,
Yeah.
our soul goes up and gets worked on. So it's almost like the angels will work on the emotion and everything that's happened because it's trauma.
Right.
So that's why, it's going to sound a bit weird now, I've lived 7 lives. So I've continuously come back down.
Wow.
And certain people, what they don't understand, if they have certain anxiety. So my anxiety, when it kicks up, my throat closes.
Yeah, I get that.
And that, I was actually hung in a previous life.
Oh.
So that's why my
which
throat
one?
closes.
Oh my God. As in by someone out? Like a lynch?
Yes, so I was a herbal witch and I was caught for it.
God.
Yeah, so I was hung.
How do you know these things?
Oh, I get told. I get told and seen.
So
yeah.
that person that was you before, would they come to you, the shell of the body, or is it all just like you're kind of tuning into those different parts of your souls?
So I think, if I'm honest with you, I think spirit make it easier when
Yeah.
they come through as the person that you knew them as. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
But when you do leave here, however many lives you've been before, you meet back up with all of those souls.
Right. And I always wondered this as well because, like, for example, I've had like old people pass away in my life, and I'd like to imagine they're not in the spirit world as the age that they were really not in their best
No.
and healthiest self.
Yeah.
And then I'm imagining, it would be nice if they were like their 18-year-old self. Do they come through in the age that they are?
Oh, they choose.
They choose.
Oh, 100%. But if I die in my 80s, if I die in my 80s, I'm coming through at 21. Because
Really?
honestly, I've had people come through and they'll come through at 17, 18. I'm like, you don't look right. You're lying to me. I've had someone's, grandfather come through who died at 93 and he's come through really young, and I'm going, don't lie to me.
Oh,
It's the men that are worse than the women.
classic.
Why would you
It's
wanna
that receding
come
hairline,
through-
Ellie. It's the receding hairlines.
Yes, that's so
Come on.
true.
Makes
Why
sense.
would you want to come through though back old?
I don't know. You might be more wise. When I think about like this age now, I might be really insecure in myself. I might be the happiest
You
I've
don't
ever
come
been when
back
I'm
though
80.
with like the same mentality you would at that, do you? Or
What's that? Sorry.
so if you come back as like a 21-year-old, do you have the same mentality that you had when you were 21?
No,
No.
you just obviously you're a lot wiser, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because you've lived that life.
Yeah, it's just the shell of yourself
Yeah.
that you choose. Yeah.
So yeah, why would you
Wing,
want to
wing,
come
wing,
back looking older?
No, I'm not asking that. I'm asking like if like an old person died and they had ailments and they couldn't walk, would my granddad grow back legs if he wanted to be in heaven? What I'm asking.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah. Then. Okay then. My question is, how do you respond to skeptics? Like, have you ever sat in like a reading and
Yeah.
someone's gone, "That's not right."
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about that?
So skeptics, I love them. Absolutely love skeptics.
really?
Yeah, I've had lots. Trust me. When I wanted to start my business, obviously my dad knew I could see and hear the dead. And he was like, you want to start a business? I've got two men for you.
Right.
So obviously my dad has a lot of friends, and he brought me two of the biggest skeptic men. Didn't believe in it. Load of crap.
Yeah.
Sat there with them, and you find it's more men than women that are skeptic.
Mm.
But I can sense when someone's a skeptic and when someone doesn't want me to bring out the truth.
Oh.
Yeah.
tea.
So yeah, the tea. It's definitely the tea. And I read both of them, and I had both. The first one, I actually went to his place, told him a certain object was somewhere in his house from his dad, and told him that obviously his dad was ill. Later on, he actually passed with what I said was wrong with him, and that exact object where it was hidden in the house was in the exact same place, and no one knew about it.
Oh.
I've never seen a man go from no, I don't believe in this to complete floods of tears.
Oh.
It's scary.
Jesus.
But so those people were alive at the time.
Yeah.
So you can read into people's lives like when it's going on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is there any like degree of aftercare when you have a reading like that, and like how do you just switch someone off? Because I think if one of my family members came through, they wouldn't fucking stop. They would be going. You'd be lying in bed at night, and then just one more thing. How do you go? Okay, thank you. That's enough spirit, and then just like go about the rest of your day.
Honestly, I have to do prayers.
Really?
Before I come here, I have to do at least 2 prayers. When I leave here, I have to make sure whatever's sticking with me stays here.
Yeah.
What are you praying to?
Yeah. What?
My guides.
Okay.
Obviously they're my biggest protection. I did have my rosary, but I left it in the car. But I've got my crystals on me all the time.
Okay.
Prayers are like the biggest thing of protection for me, even when I do paranormal investigations and stuff.
Talking of paranormal investigations, thoughts on like ghost hunting, Ouija boards, normal people maybe don't have the gift summoning these spirits that maybe they don't even have the mental capacity to.
Right, Ouija boards, I don't agree with them.
No.
You get these people that, I say trained, but they know what they're doing. Does that make sense? What they'll do is with the Ouija board, they'll have the little planchette and they'll circle it, start talking. Now, it's the same. Ouija boards are exactly the same as tarot cards.
Right.
You don't know what you're talking to, right? So you got to imagine you're doing this, you've opened a portal.
Yeah.
Things are coming through onto that board to tell you certain things. You don't close that down properly, you're going to have things follow you home.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah. People don't realise the severity of it.
Yeah.
So when people are there, especially on TikTok, it's the worst for it with these paranormal investigations.
Really?
They're there doing this. Where's your prayers? Where's your protection? You've literally opened something up that you don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Half of these places that they go to, which I do want to state, not everywhere you go is negative. And people that go to like the Exorcist house or the Conjuring house and things like that, that demonic thing that was there isn't there no more. So people are going there thinking, oh, this is intense. This is where a possession happened. This is where this happened. You're not going to be calling that back.
Oh, interesting. And another thing in that, I watched a clip on Gogglebox of some ghost hunters, and a spirit punched a man.
Oh, I
And he
saw that.
Fully, like, is it possible for them, like, because you know the whole thing of like when you feel a breeze on the back of your neck, it's like an angel kissing. Are these? Can you actually be physically touched by spirits?
My partner's been scratched.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, we went to a couple of locations, and he's a demolition man, so he went to a bunker. And I said to him, I just kept saying to him, make sure you pray. Just make sure that you look after yourself. And I kept shoving in crystals in his pocket without him realising, right? Because he's got loads of pockets.
Right.
And the one day, I forgot to put the crystal in.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if it's a coincidence. I've got the picture, actually. He went to work. He was working on this bunker. They were taking the bunker down. I said, they don't like you taking that down. That's what we're contracted to do. That's what I'm paid for. I said, well, you need to protect yourself. He come back home. He had an A printed in his back. Now his name's Aaron.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that could have been a lot worse.
What, like in a scratch?
In a scratch. A.
Where was it? On his back?
Yeah, on his back.
That's insane.
And I said, just do me a favour. Just try and reach to that spot. He's there. Right. That's hilarious. He's like that. I can't reach it. I said, no. You've got I've got the picture. It says A on his back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's mad.
That's crazy. I think the last thing I want to round up with is the idea of dreams.
Yeah.
Because although I don't feel like I maybe have the gift or can speak to the dead, I think I've had a few occasions where maybe like someone that's passed has come to me in a dream and I've had a conversation with them and felt that comfort. And I guess I'm just asking, like, is that my subconscious looking for comfort, or was that like an actual message from?
So, loved ones can manipulate to talk to you in your dreams because that's when you're at your resting point, I suppose.
Yeah.
Your energy is neutral.
It's open, isn't it?
Yeah. So they can come in and manipulate your dreams, or come in themselves. So last night I had a dream about a woman talking to me, and she said, "You're gonna go to that thing tomorrow, and you're gonna talk to me." I'm like, all right. God. Now I know it's your nan.
Oh.
So that's their way of like talking to you. But it's nice. It is really nice.
That's comforting.
Yeah, it is. And they'll show you. Some people go, Leah, I've had the weirdest dream. I saw this animal. I saw this. I saw that, and that happened. If you separate all of that, that's separate messages.
Yeah.
Which is clever.
It is clever. Clever. Wow. Well, I guess what the natural thing we'd ask you, Psychic Leah, would you be able to give, any of us a reading?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned...
Yeah, you mentioned my nan.
Yeah, she's a very strong individual, your nan.
Oh, I don't actually know either of my nans that well, so...
It's funny because it's not just the one. You've got loads. You've got a bloke that stood with you as well.
Oh.
Oh, God, goosebumps.
But it's funny because I'm more connected with your mum's side of the family.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what it is with all the women.
Fair, yeah.
You know, like some families have more women than men.
Yeah.
Your mum's side, it's just pure women.
We've got a lot of women, to be fair, on my mum's side, yeah.
Yeah. So you've got obviously a grandmother on your mum's side of the family that isn't here anymore.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is absolutely to the T. The way she does herself, you know, like some nans when they get ill, right? They don't really care what they're wearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your nan's like this.
Oh.
She's very like, yes, I'm ill, but I can still look after myself.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, if she can still walk, she's going to walk.
Yeah.
And what she didn't like was how do I put it? How things had gone so quickly. Because where she's always been so independent and always had to do things for others, for other people to look after her, that was a hard pill to swallow. Now, there are two initials that I get, which can be for the living or past, A and S.
Okay.
If that makes sense to you.
A is my mum's maiden name.
Okay.
So Hellebong. That makes sense.
Yeah. But I will say your nan doesn't take anyone's crap, and I can see where that comes from in your mum's side of the family and where you get it from.
Okay, interesting.
But her guidance for you, I don't know what it is about the air as well, because it's almost like all put together, but it's up.
Yeah.
It's stunning. Honestly, she keeps herself well. You know, like when they put the fresh rollers in, and then they take them out, and then that perfect look.
Yeah.
That's her. She has guidance for you.
Oh, okay. What?
And she
What
said,
kind of
because
guys?
for some reason, she says, you and your mum are really close.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
And she says, she knows that you worry over your mum sometimes because your mum
Yes.
doesn't like to open up and say many things to you.
That's very true. Yeah.
And she says that your mum's got to stop worrying about her health.
Because
there's-
stop worrying about her health.
Yeah, because she's
Interesting.
worrying about too much. Because if I show you like different, she shows me too many different parts, right? 'Cause she's like, this is going wrong, that she's worrying about that. She keeps trying to withdraw bloods from your mum and says, just go get them checked, but it won't be as bad as what she thinks.
Okay.
And I don't know why she keeps talking about your mum getting her hair shorter and shorter and shorter. You know, when like, I don't know if it's just a natural thing, but you know when women get older and then they end up cutting their hair?
Yeah.
I won't be doing that. But, is your mum blonde as well?
Yeah. She's blonde.
Because I keep getting like, you know, like the little highlights. You know, I don't know how to put it. You know when you're blonde, then you have like little blonder streaks. That's the best way I
Yeah.
can put it. She keeps saying to your mum, stop telling her to stop cutting her hair. And the older she's getting, the more she's looking like her.
I keep saying that to her. Stop cutting hair. She's like, oh, I'm just going to put it a little bit shorter, but I like it when it's longer.
Ooh,
There you go.
interesting.
But she does have guidance for you. She says when it comes to, because she keeps highlighting love. Love is a massive thing. And she grabs you around, slaps it.
Oh.
She says, you've got this thing on you, and it's called a weirdo magnet.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, she's not wrong, yeah.
And you seem to attract all of these people that your energy ain't serving. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yeah, to be fair, she's correct.
Lol.
But she knows what you like. She says, Leah, she's so easy to read.
Oh.
Mm.
I'm not so easy to read. Am I easy to read?
You just know your next steps. But but with you, she just says, she just wants you to be careful with who you meet. I don't know what it is, but she keeps giving me the letter J.
J.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you meet
avoid
someone
J.
new,
J. To be
names.
fair, I always try and avoid J's anyway.
Yeah.
Nothing good comes from a J.
I want to say,
Sorry, J.
I want to say it's more the name Jamie is the name I keep getting. So if you have someone that comes to you and his name's Jamie, pile him off.
Okay, noted.
Did any of that resonate?
Yeah, I think a lot. I mean, I don't know my nan very well. She died when I was very young, so
But she's very protective of you lot. And your mum's got the sister.
yeah, she's got two sisters.
Because I don't know who the middle one is then, because she says the one after your mum, I'm assuming.
Yeah, my mum's the older sister.
Right, so the middle sister,
Yeah.
she's concerned about at the moment.
Oh, she's always concerned about
Oh.
both my sisters. My mum looks after both the sisters. Yeah.
And where does the letter C come from?
See, Carol. My mum's name's Carol.
Ah, right.
Wow.
So she looks after your mum more on
Yeah.
the side of... The best way she puts it, and I'm not filtering anything because I don't filter what spirits say, your mum's like an emotional punch bag. And she feels sorry for your mum.
Yeah, I kind of get that. Yeah.
But
I'm
just...
laughing because
But just try. She says she knows it's hard for you, but just try and keep yourself behind the scenes and just make sure that you know your mum knows that you're there. You're all right. She'll be fine. Your mum. Tell her to stop worrying about health.
okay, interesting.
Wow.
Oh, let her know that. See what she says.
But yeah,
Yeah,
Really
interesting.
would you be able to give me a reading? Timid.
what do you want to know? That's the question. You've got a bloke round you.
That's interesting because I thought I would have the
woman.
woman energy
Yeah.
mostly.
See, I can read people, and they'll come for one person.
Yeah.
But then you can have other people that come in. It's funny because your dad's side, they're a bit more.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What are they saying?
Let me stick you in my head. and you're on the
I
side.
know. I wish I could get in
So
your brain.
there's the best way I can put it is with your side, you've got your mum's side here, and
Yeah.
your dad's side there. They put
Yeah.
a brick wall straight in the middle.
Yeah.
So they're not, whether that be your mum's side's fussy, and they don't want your dad's side intervening, coming in and talking
Right.
on their side of things. But your dad's side, there's a little bit more to know.
Oh,
So
About what? Sorry, I'm probably the worst person. I'm gonna.
So There's a bloke on your dad's side of the family,
Right.
which I believe to be a fatherly figure for your dad. I don't mean this in a nasty way, but he comes through with a bit of a resting bitch face.
Right.
He's sort of like, he's very hesitant what he's going to tell me, but he's got the problem with your father. All I know is that he keeps going, he hasn't done as he's told. He hasn't done as he's told. And
My dad's.
yeah, your dad hasn't done as he's told.
Okay.
I don't know how you can make sense of this. I keep seeing a row of houses. I don't know what this means. It could be work. It could be what your dad done. I can see your dad going in and out of different houses.
Right.
Right, yeah, we'll move on from that one.
Right.
This bloke in spirit, the fatherly figure to your dad,
Yeah.
he's not happy with him. He's seen everything. There's a thing about his chest as well, where I don't... Oh, no, he's telling me. He goes, no, Leah, it's something that is hereditary in the family. And there's a problem to do with when you got the top of the lungs before they cut off, that little bit there. There's a problem there. So, you know, like...
Is it a trachea?
I think so, yeah. And then, if he shows me again, into the left lung. Sorry, my left and rights are bad. Right at the bottom. So it'll be... Because he keeps saying that COPD runs in your dad's side of the family. And that there's particular lung problems that go on. But he says that your dad's not helping himself with his health anyway. So whatever your dad's doing, all I keep seeing is this. So I don't know if your dad smokes quite a lot.
Right.
But he's doing this and he says he's going to have problems here again. That's really nasty. He says, oh, honestly, this man, he don't care. I don't know what it is with your dad's side of the family, but he's upset big time. Don't feel... You've never had a reading done before for him to come through?
Never, no.
No, that's why he's come through then. Wow. He wants you to know it's nothing against you lot or your mum. He knows what your dad's done.
Yeah.
He's upset big time. He reckons he shouldn't have died at the age he died at. It was young in his eyes. Obviously, like I say, my granddad died at 64. That's young for me.
Yeah.
He keeps giving me the letter B in relation with your dad's side of the family. Is there another brother?
His brother, the granddad's brother, I'm not actually sure. I wasn't that close with him. I think I only met him once.
It's all right. Just take these initials with you because you might find out. He says, Leah, it's a split name. So it would have been someone that would have been called William.
Right.
But it's been split down to Bill.
Right.
Or Billy, whatever they want to call
brother's
themselves.
name's Billy.
Oh. Yeah, he just keeps saying to me, just tell her not to worry. We know what he's done. And his karma will come around the corner.
Oh, God.
But all I can see is that there's 3 kids. And then I can see your dad doing things that he shouldn't be doing with the 3 kids still young. I mean, I'm wondering if...
My dad's one of three brothers.
Oh, okay.
And then he's got 2 kids, which is me and my brother.
Yeah.
Unless there's a third one in that third house that he's popping into.
Listen, I ain't bringing no family dramas into
That's fine.
Because obviously where your granddad's not happy.
Right.
He's going to come out and say, look, this is what I've seen. Tell her this, tell her that. But there is more to your dad. But it depends on how much more you want to know.
Wow, this is really interesting.
What I can't understand is the houses your dad's going in and out of.
Neither.
He's got a new job as like a milkman or something.
No. Do you know what he is? He is he's a heating engineer. So that could be it.
Could be it, yeah.
So he is going around to numerous houses. Hopefully just doing the heating.
But the way that your grandfather puts you is like a little lost puppy. Still not quite aware of what we're doing yet.
Aww.
So when it comes to like career, it's like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. But then he's going, Leah, give her a year and she'll be confused again.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what it is with you two. You're very, very similar with the worrying.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're more of a silent warrior. That's where your family get all the silent warriors. But yours is like, you can feel the energy radiating.
Yeah.
And that's when you know that you need to talk to each other. Yeah.
I'm vulnerable, I think.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So how do you know who was who? Like, how did you differentiate Lauren from Ellie?
So, the different energies. Yours is more hectic. It's more like this.
Yeah.
But with yours, it's like, no, I'd rather not tell you my problem. But yeah, that's how I'd thingy it.
And is it to say that like that time maybe that was my granddad coming through? If I was to come see you again, would someone else come through? Because some people can get addicted to these kind of readings, right?
Yeah, I always say to people, if you're going to have a reading done with me on a one-to-one basis, you find out as so much, and then you come back and then you find out more, because different people come in.
Yeah.
I read for a girl every month. She often brings her nan. And the first time she brought her nan, she's alive, by the way.
Okay.
When she comes, you get about 10 people that come through. And it's like, it's insane. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got Bob here, I've got this and that and that. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like, what's my husband doing?
Yeah.
She'll go off and I'll be talking to the main client again. And I'll just give her updates about what's going on in life. So people do get addicted to it. But I always say leave it every so often.
God.
But yeah, you can come back to me and someone from your mum's side could come through.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I definitely will, I think. I'm obsessed with this conversation. It's been incredible.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting conversation.
Everyone needs to get a little bit more in touch with like the spirit and energy that is around us, because I feel like that filters into my day to day.
And you're always going to go back and ask family questions afterwards anyway, so then you get to know your family more.
Yeah, true.
No harm.
No harm.
No harm. Maybe some harm. If don't know.
Yeah.
It depends what your past loved ones have been doing that you don't know about. But
yeah.
We hope they don't bother you when you leave this room.
Oh, they won't. You're fine.
Brilliant.
Don't worry, my nan can bake, so apparently
Ghost cakes.
Yeah,
Ghost
exactly.
That concludes our today's episode of Tea at 4. Thank you so much for joining us, Leah.
Thanks so much for having me.
Woo! Thanks so much for joining us on this week's episode of Tea at 4. If you want to follow Leah, follow her on all of her socials at Psychic Leah. And if you liked our content, give us a follow, give us a like, and join us on for the rides. See you next week.
Yeah.